Okay, so today I'm in Somerset with Terry Allen. Thanks very much for agreeing to talk to us today, Terry.
Yeah, nice to see you, Simon.
And you. Now, you're a familiar face on the racecourses, been a familiar face on racecourses for many years, at least as long as I've been going racing. But just a brief potted history of your career. You've been a dancer on Ready Stardy Go.
No, I was a mimer, actually.
A mimer, okay.
Not dancer.
A Pontins Bluecoat.
Yeah,
You settled in a betting shop. You were a betting shop manager. You had a bookmaker's license.
yeah,
You were betting intelligence officer,
yeah.
SP Returner, and latterly SP Validator. And
Yeah.
you once shared a dressing room with the Kinks. Have I missed anything?
No. The dressing room with the Kinks was when I was on Ready Stardy Go in February 1964. I was a mimer. I won an audition with 3 others to appear in a competition that they had every week on Ready Stardy Go. The Kinks were just starting up. They weren't well known, but they came to the show, and then there was no room to put them, so they stuck them in with us. And anyway, the competition was just 4 of us, and the winner got a long playing LP as a winner, so it wasn't a massive prize, but I think the 3 degrees of the deciding factor who was to win. Anyway, one of the chaps dropped his trousers and he had polka dot shorts on, and they gave it to him. But yeah, it was just the one time I've been on the TV, that was all.
Was that like one of those things where they became famous and you thought, oh bloody hell, that was them, the guys I shared that room?
Yeah, I'd never heard swearing like it from the Kinks. I was only 18 myself. I never heard. No.
Were they all quite friendly with you in that then?
Yeah, a little bit distant, but it was Ray Davis and Dave Davis. Yeah.
So did you have your eye on the sort of the stage and entertainment in your early days, or was that just something you did for
No, somebody sent me a telegram the day after and wanted me. I went up to Liverpool Street station, and then we went to see a show. Then the following day, he was looking for somebody miming in a film as a pop singer, and he thought I'd been all right on Ready Stardy Go. And anyway, on the Sunday, I was supposed to go to Dartford, where the Mersey Beats were appearing, and he was their manager. But it snowed hard that day, so I didn't bother to go. I never heard any more.
So that was the end of your stage career then.
Yeah.
But you then being a Bluecoat, Pontins must have been quite good fun.
Yeah, it was 1965. I went down to Bournemouth, followed a girl down who I was fond of. She was looking after a Roman Catholic friend who had become pregnant, so they had to do a runner. I followed her down, and then I saw an advert for Pontins Bluecoat, which I applied for and got, and I was at 3 separate camps, Wick Ferry at Christchurch, then on to Broadridge at Chelsea Bill, and then 1966, the year after, I came to Sand Bay at Weston-super-Mare, and that's when the wife arrived, or the wife-to-be arrived, and we met when England won the World Cup, and then we got married the following year, 67.
So 67 and getting married clipped your any showbiz ambitions?
Oh yeah. In fact, after we got married, we did go back to holiday camp on the Isle of Wight, and I was entertainment manager there. But saying that, I only had 2 staff, so it wasn't as though I was managing many people.
So your career has basically been about racing.
Yeah.
And that actually, the beginnings of that started before you even went doing the Ready Stardy Go, all that stuff. You were a settler.
Yeah, only on a Saturday afternoon. My dad was a settler, and I was about 15 or 16, and I used to go in the back door because you couldn't go through the front door because you had to be 18, of course. And I just did the single bets, and for Johnny of Bromley, as a bookmaker. So that was the start of me settling. I didn't do any then until when I went to Bristol after we left the Isle of Wight to the holiday camp in '67. The in-laws moved to Bristol, so we followed them there, and then I got a job for Mecca, City Tote, Backhouse, different ones, over about 15 years, I suppose. And then I somebody approached me and asked me to be the manager in partnership with a shop, which we opened in Fish Ponds in Bristol, and then I got a bookmaker's permit to bet at the greyhounds at Eastville, which I got. Stood up there making a book for the company that we'd formed, and then moved on to did flapping tracks, Taunton, Brian, and then
Talking was Dave Pike, wasn't it?
yeah, Dave Pipe.
So how did you get on with Dave Pike?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I did a bit of clerking for him actually, on Point to Points, and I did clerking for Buttons of Bath. And they were my main employer for a number of years, and then a job came up at Glastonbury Flapper for manager and grader in the early '80s. I did that for 3 years, but it wasn't very popular because everybody wanted to win the race. And difficult job being a grader. You can't please everybody. It's a job to please any. But anyway, I was there for 3 years, I think, doing that. And then '87, a job came up as a betting intelligence officer on the race course. I knew the person who was leaving, so I quickly dived in and got hold of the director of security, Peter Smiles, and said that I'd like to apply for the position of betting intelligence officer for the Jockey Club security. He said he might well get hold of me when the interviews come up, and asked me to go for an interview. But after that, the advert went in the Sporting Life or Racing Post for the position, and I was on tender hooks. I applied for the position in a letter as well when the advert came out, and then following January, I had a letter from him saying that I hadn't been successful in obtaining an interview. So because I hadn't got the required qualifications. But the advert was for somebody living in the Cheltenham and Worcester area, and I was living in Bridgewater. So it was like a red rag to a bull for me. I thought, why has it got to be somebody living in Cheltenham, Worcester area, when living in Bridgewater would be better? We're going to meetings like Newton Abbot, Exeter, Taunton, all around the West Country, Salisbury, as far as up as Newbury. So I wrote a 5-page appendix saying why it was better to live in Bridgewater than what it was in the Cheltenham and Worcester area. Anyway, I got a short letter back saying that Peter Smiles couldn't be clairvoyant and know what somebody was rejecting an interview unsuccessful. Anyway, they must have interviewed some people from Cheltenham and Worcester area who didn't suit, and so he was on the phone the next day and asked me to go for an interview because of all the appendices. Anyway, that was the start of a secure job for me. It was the first pension I started, and company car. I was well chuffed.
Well, before we go on to more about that, I mean, just rewind a bit to your when you were standing up as a bookmaker.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any ambitions to sort of join the ranks of the racecourse bookies that you eventually ended up working around? Was that ever an ambition to sort of build up from that? I mean, how did it go, that on-course bookie career?
Well, I never had any money really. I used to have stickers in other words, I had people put the money in the hod, and then it used to stand under my name, and they paid me a wage. So I never earned very much money I did only greyhounds. Stephen Little was opposite me at Eastville. He went one way and I went, went the other. I did bet on the horse racing once. I went to the Derby. There was three of us in the hod. Put our money in. We won on the first race and we won on the second race. So I said, right, we're going to stick it up the favourite, right, in the Derby. Yeah, we did. Shergar. 1981. Won by the biggest distance the Derby winners won by, isn't it? So anyway, I never bet on the race on horses again.
Was that on the hill? I assume,
Yeah, on the hill, yeah.
So what was it like on there in those days?
It was 1981, I think. It was, yeah, you had to keep your eye on the pitch because it's pretty thick up there with one or two looking to pinch.
Undesirables.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember what we finished up packing up after the Derby, obviously, because we'd done our money.
Was it a bit like the Wild West? I mean, could I have turned up with some tools and bet? Was there anybody there checking that you actually had a bookmaker's license or anything like that, or could you just turn up?
I think you had to apply before to the BPA. Yeah, I can't really remember. But yeah, that was. I was going on holiday the following day as well. So that was.
Did the other guys sticking in with you ever go on with anything in bookmaking?
They did get involved with other people. I know one particular on-course bookmaker that they got involved with, but I shan't mention who it was.